we are happy that you are here. We are so glad you came to harass us. Um, are you getting an echo on your end there?
Nope.
I'm not. You're not echoing on me either. So
I think we're good, right?
yeah, I think we can stay without headphones. All
Sweet.
right. So let's see here. Today we are going to talk with Phil Diaz about his book Magic Cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Phil, what inspired Magic Cop? Where did Magic Cop come from?
Man. So Magic Cop, we got the idea back in 2017. My brother and I, we worked together. He's the artist on the book, and we work for a arcade company, the largest arcade in the world. It has the most games. It's in Brookfield, Illinois, and we work for the production company now, making arcade games. And Brandon, my brother, does a lot of graphic work. He's a graphic designer. He would restore cabinets, restore the art on them, design bezels for the bezels and marquees for the games. And so he was told that someone ordered a bezel that he wanted to make. And he was telling my boss what the name of the game was. And my boss was like, what was the name of the game? And he's like, I don't know. It was like Magic Cop or something. And my boss is like, Magic Cop? That's not even a game. And then we're like, that's an awesome title for a game, and it should be a game. And so it just came out of nowhere. We're like, how would this game be aesthetic-wise? And from there, Brandon and I on the side were kind of in pre-production designing this game called Magic Cop, which was going to be a 4-player beat-em-up, side-scrolling beat-em-up, where you have 4 different characters you could play from, kind of like Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, Bad Dudes, Streets of Rage, games like those from the early 90s. And I love designing characters. We have done a comic book before, like 7 years ago, and I always loved comics. I always loved writing, and character design is one of my favorite aspects of creating anything. So I was allowed to create a bunch of characters that were enemies and bosses. And so we worked a lot on the side on this project, and it didn't get greenlit, and we got busy with other things at work. So we had this whole story, and we're like, hey, why don't we turn this into a comic book, a graphic novel? We have these rich characters, this Miami Vice feel mixed with spooky horror monsters and magic. And so we're packing it into a 4-chapter graphic novel. It's going to be the first story in a long line of Magic Cop tales. And yeah, that's where we are today.
Sweet. So give us a quick synopsis of what Magic Cop is. Who are the heroes? Who's the Wolfman? Who's the girl?
Yeah, so I'll run through the characters. You have the 4 main characters that were based around the archetypes from a side-scrolling beat 'em up. You have your main guy, Magic Cop. He's got a magic wand, and this is actually his first story, his first case, I should say, okay. being a full Magic Cop. And the title of Magic Cop comes from a long generational line. So his wand is passed down from his grandfather to his father to him. And when he gets to the precinct, everybody thinks he's kind of like pretentious. He got a free ride here. He just graduated, so he's green. He's a rookie, and everyone thinks he's got to stick up his butt because he got here by doing nothing. So in his personality, you could tell that he's had to deal with that all of his life, and he kind of has that friction and pushback against those comments. We'll definitely see that in the dialogue between him and some of his other peers. Okay. We have Grey Wolf, who is the Wolfman, and his name's Grey Wolf Silvermoon. He is our veteran cop, which is every good buddy cop aspect almost has that, where you have the green guy and the veteran guy that's been there for a while. He used to be this gung-ho, really highly decorated detective who loved his job, but something tragic happens to him, and we find out what that was. So now he's down, doesn't care about the job, doesn't put the extra effort into it. Even the captain, kind of wants him to retire because he's not doing what he should be doing. And you get the aspect where these two characters, they kind of help each other grow, get back to where Grey Wolf was, and Magic Cop be a better detective, a better Magic Cop by the end of the story.
Okay, so there's a healing element in there. That's like a personal triumph story.
Yeah, I definitely wanted that arc element to it, because it is 4 chapters. I got a lot of room to work with and introduce these characters, but still have room for them to grow. So on to the next 2. You for those side-scrolling beat 'em ups, you have your 2 regular guys that are kind of like in same stature and power, and then you have your female character, which is Helly Nightshade. She is a witch. That's why she's green, based on the Wicked Witch of the West. But she's a good guy. She's part of the team. She goes undercover, as in, that female trope from the 80s. They go undercover as prostitutes to infiltrate, those rings, or maybe infiltrate drug rings, stuff like that.
Right.
And she's this flirty, sexy 80s chick that happens to be a witch. She does magic as well. She has some funny moments. She's very self-conscious about how she's going to look in the future, because all witches, when they get old, they get big noses and become ugly. So she's always cracking jokes about how she wishes she was a vampire because they stay young forever. So she's a big part. She uses a lot of spells in the book. She has a pocket cauldron that she carries around so she can whip them up really quickly. Yeah,
that's really interesting.
So definitely wanted that sexy babe aspect to it, because, Miami Vice, the 80s, you got to have that. And then our last main character is O'Hara. He is our, Irish cop trope. We were thinking of, tropes for police. And I'm like, they have O'Hara from Batman 66. He was a big cop trope. His thick Irish accent and the red hair. Like, why don't we put a character like him in there, where we have the Irish cop, but he's a leprechaun, but he's also half giant. So he's like this 7-foot tall, big, beefy, muscular giant. He's our gentle giant, though. He's always eating something in every panel you see him in. If he's not in action and kicking ass, he's either got a sandwich or like a burrito in his hand eating, to keep those calories up, because he definitely hits the gym. So those are our 4 guys, and he goes along with that side-scrolling beat 'em up also, because you need that big character that's going to be slower and do more damage.
Okay. Right, so I have another question. So you said the wand is handed down from grandfather to father to whatever. So does that mean that grandpa and dad are both dead?
No. Retired, I would say. Retired from being a magic cop. Because the wands are really rare. Like, only magic cops have wands, unless one was sold on the black market, which I would love to get into in another story in the future, having some like rogue magic cops that Iggy has to face. But everybody knows when they see a magic wand, then that is super powerful. That means this guy has it either illegally or he's a magic cop.
Now, can someone else use his wand, since you're talking about how they can be on the black market? So like could someone else, like if he drops it, somebody else pick it up and use it against him?
Yeah, there might be some side effects from that. The person would have to be skilled, but the idea is they could use it if they know how to use it.
Okay. Well, that makes for an interesting story, because people drop things, so that there's a lot that can happen there. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
You said that she goes undercover as a mermaid before, right? In the story.
Well, she goes undercover as a prostitute.
Yeah.
Not as a mermaid, no.
Okay, wasn't it? I thought it was a mermaid prostitution ring.
Yeah. So there's the whole prostitution ring. It has a bunch of different like women there, but there are mermaids that are being trafficked into prostitution. And the one we're dealing with the case is their first case. Is they actually get a case file that deals with a murdered mermaid, and they have to investigate that. That's where it kicks off.
I see. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So you said this was first a video game idea. Do you have dreams of possibly building up the IP and making another video game of it again?
Oh yeah, sure. Like this, I think doing it as a comic book is really going to allow us to build a good foundation, hopefully a good fan base for the IP. And I'm really glad we're doing it first as a comic book rather than a video game, because I could do that. I could tell a full story and get into more detail, get people invested into these characters, as as if I did an arcade game first. You only have so much room to do that. You have, especially a video arcade game,
Yeah.
you have a linear path that you're going through. You're only telling so much story. You can't really fit their personalities, all their whole personalities into there. With literature, with comic books, you have so much more room to expand with. And I think having it here, like I said, going to lay a good foundation, and it's just going to make the video game, if we do a crowdfunding or if we come out with it, more eyes are going to have seen it, and people will notice it more. So I would love to do that.
You could also release a shorter, smaller version of a comic for people to introduce both worlds. If they find the game first, you could have like an 8-page video game sized, obviously because it comes in different packaging, comic book that you could get, and reintroduce both markets. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. So I love writing, so I have more stories to tell in this world. I have some plotted out already, some short stories that I want to do because I love writing short stories.
Yeah,
some other artists, guest artists, and stuff like that. So
how many pages is Magic Cop: The Drop Dead Legs?
Yeah. So this first episode is what we're calling them, episode 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. Get that little TV trope. So this one's going to be 88 pages. So we got 4 chapters. Going to tell a full arc. I studied the kind of like the TV storytelling of those old 80s cop shows. My dad was a huge fan of Miami Vice. This is his favorite TV show. We have the whole box set, and I've seen all the episodes, I'm sure, and kind of studied the storytelling in those shows. And when you think about it, they're not really mysteries like other cop shows or other CSI. There's not a mystery aspect to it. These are shows where the heroes of the show, something's wrong. They find out who the bad guy is, and even the audience may even know who he is before the cops. But the
San Francisco, that sounds like very much like the Streets of San Francisco model.
Yeah. And so it's like this linear story of here's the journey of taking this guy down.
Right.
So it's very character focused. So you fall in love with these characters, and even though something bad happens to them in one episode, they're going to be back in the next one, but it still means something. And they do in Miami Vice. They kill off the captain in the end of the first season, and then Castillo comes on in the second season. So there's still weight to the decisions you make in these stories. Yeah.
Okay, so we're looking at some graphics here.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about these graphics? So this obviously is the cover, right?
Yeah, that is Pablo Romero did the cover for us. He has that awesome 80s style. He colored it himself. You look him up on Twitter, Instagram, Pablo Romero Art. He's a great guy, and we want to work with him in the future. We have some stretch goals planned. If we hopefully get there, we want to do some trading cards with him so we can have some more art for everybody to get for free when we get these stretch goals. But he's an amazing artist. Yeah.
So where you're at right now, you're at 41 with you had a 3 fixed goal, and you got 78 backers, and you have 11 days left. So you got 11 days to push here. So get the stretch goals.
Definitely, yeah. We're doing a 100 backer stretch goal also. So once we get to 100 backers, we're going to have a secret goal for everybody that they're going to get some awesome art. Also,
okay. Who did this piece right here with the
yeah? So
this made?
My brother did this. So this is the first interior cover. So Brandon did a cover for each chapter.
Okay.
So there's going to be 4 interior covers, and he actually drew them uncensored. So, regularly this doesn't have the knife in front of it, but I thought the knife was a perfect censorship for this cover. I kind of conceptualized it. And so in the book, it'll be censored, but there's add-ons in the add-on section where you could get prints of each of those covers uncensored. And we also have a naughty tier where it comes with the book and the 4 naughty prints.
Okay.
So those people are definitely would love those. And, we have a bunch of people that picked up that perk and some of those add-ons too. So it's working out. Everyone loves sex appeal.
Yeah, I'm a fan of sexy books. My favorite book was Heavy Metal growing up, and that there was very little censorship in that one.
Oh yeah.
So I the style here reminds me of Spy versus Spy, and I can't figure out why.
Oh, that's all. Brandon and I we grew up on Spy versus Spy. We have big Spy versus Spy book laying around here somewhere, right here. And I'll tell you the reason why it seems like that. Because they're sitting across from each other, right? There's one of my favorite Spy versus Spies is they're just having dinner with each other, and one of them's looking over his shoulder, and he has a ring that's pouring poison into the other one's cup, and then the other spy's ring is a fan that's blowing it back into the black spy's cup. Yeah, love that.
I just added myself as a Mad Magazine fan, but
yeah, that's good, man. Mad is great.
Yeah, Mad was the one that I would be able to get my mom to buy for me, and it was, I don't know. I tell people this. I did not really like the Marvel comics and the DC comics of the 70s and 80s that much. I mean, I liked them; they were okay. There were some of them that were pretty cool. You know what I mean? But they weren't my first choice. I dug Heavy Metal. I loved everything Heavy Metal put out. Every single issue was awesome. And the artists sometimes had like little spin-off books, and I would try and get my hands on those, but they wouldn't sell them to me. You know what I mean? I couldn't buy them in the store, so it was always trading with friends. Like I would try and get myself a copy, and I would trade something for it, and then when I was done reading it, I would end up having to trade my copy for another copy from my friends that I haven't read yet. You know what I mean? So that, so that was like the thing. We were like, like trading cards nowadays. We were trading books, But I actually had a big collection of Mad magazines because I was allowed to have those. Those my mom bought those for me.
Yeah. Those are great. Yeah.
Yeah, but this definitely reminds me of Spy versus Spy, like 100%. Cool, so it's cool that's a big influence for you guys.
Definitely.
All right, now this is also an interior page here?
Yeah, so this is an interior page. This is the scene where Iggy meets Grey Wolf for the first time. Grey Wolf is there slacking off, just messing with this little paper doohickey that he made. And then Iggy wants to shake his hand, and he won't budge. He's being really stubborn. First time meeting his new partner.
Yeah, so he's being a dick.
Yeah, definitely. And we also get the first introduction to O'Hara there, where it's the total opposite. Like O'Hara is super happy to meet Ignatius, wants to shake his hand. You can see he's eating the sandwich right there. And then on the next page too, it's not up there, but they're shaking hands. And I love how Brandon did this. O'Hara has the sandwich in his mouth now, and he's shaking Iggy's hands with both of his hands and talking at the same time. So he's like mumbling. It's really funny.
That's great. Yeah. That sounds interesting. The shirt you have him in is killing me. The little rainbow Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, man. I got to give props to our colorist on that one. Brandon just drew just the line art of the shirt, and I'm like, is there any way we want this rainbowed? But Brandon forgot to put the palm trees on there. Is there any way you could put some on there? If not, it's fine. We don't need them, but that would be cool. And he made a stamp for the palm trees and just went on there and stamped them on there. So our colorist Eugene killed that. It's so cool.
That is cool. That's good. I mean that's impressive when a colorist goes the next level for you. That's a good thing.
He's a great colorist, yeah.
Now, is this an alternative, a variant cover? What's this?
No, so this is So this is like our title page in the book. So there's like four or five pages, and then this is like the big reveal. It's edited a little bit. There's an extra panel in there that you don't see right now. This is like our promo title page, but it says Magic Cop Episode 1, and it has our credits there. It's like our big reveal moment with Magic Cop and Helly. Another cool thing about that page is the poof by the gun there.
Yeah.
It's highly, like, that smoke color is highly inspired by the color of the smoke from Wizard of Oz that the witch uses. I told the colorist, I'm like, I want that orangish red, because that was always stuck in my head when I watched that movie as a kid. That smoke.
So she has a gun and a cauldron in her pocket too.
Yep.
All right. So the cauldron just does like magic spells, or
yeah. So later in the book, she does a few spells. She does a wire spell where like she whips out her cauldron, starts putting stuff in it, and blows the smoke, and everyone inhales it, and then it sets up basically a wire tap on everybody that has the spell on them. So O'Hara, he's in the van. He has another cauldron that he could see what's going on. He could hear what's going on through the magic of that bigger cauldron there. So it's basically wearing a wire,
I got you. That's kind of cool. That's pretty creative.
Thanks, man.
And then what's this? Obviously, Elliot Fernandez poster, or
so this is he did the cover for our ash can. And in the ash can, it's like our behind the scenes book. You're gonna get a bunch of back matter talking about the process, images of concept art, even some little tidbits about making the production of the arcade game. And we also have a 12-page pilot issue that is a totally different story. It takes place after this story, so they've already been partners for a while, and the team is taking down these Japanese kabuki drug lords. 12 pages. It has a lot of action in it, and I just re-lettered it. It's totally lettered now. If people want to see that story, they could sign up to our newsletter at Zaid Comics, and they get it for free. But it's going to be printed in this ash can with a bunch of other stuff.
I got it. So on your website, you can get access to like a digital or something.
Yeah, it'll be digital. They'll get the PDF. And yeah, this is the only way you can get this cover. It's the cover for our behind the scenes book, awesomely colored. And we're also selling the original traditional art, which is still available on the campaign.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, and then let's see here.
More pages. Yeah.
More pages. What's on here in this scene?
Yeah. So yeah, every time I get a new colored page in, I throw one or two up there just to keep things fresh when people come back to the page and see that there's updates to it. So this is after they get the tip off about the mermaid that has been murdered. Her fin has been cut down the center and kind of like mutilated. Okay. So Helly, she works with the prostitutes, and this mermaid was a prostitute. So she got a tip off about this surgeon who used to do work for prostitutes. So these guys go undercover pretending to be, someone that works with, prostitutes, ladies of the night, or models. They need some work done, and they're kind of like interrogating him to get some information off.
Okay.
So he's a cosmetic surgeon.
Okay. Now I noticed in a few different panels now that the magic cop, what's his name?
Iggy.
Iggy.
Yeah.
He's got these sleeves that are very wizardy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Brandon designed that right up. That's directly from the original design. He has his coat. He's got those wizard sleeves, and he has kind of like coattails, but in the front. We wanted to mix that wizard cloak aesthetic with that Miami Vice suit.
Okay. Now, is that like a giveaway to people like recognize that and realize that he's a magic cop because he's got wizardry clothes, or is that just not picked up on by the people in the book?
No, in my head canon, that's just a fashion of things how it is. It's not a notification of class, like you're a magic cop. That's just the aesthetic of the style of clothes there. That's just one aspect, one jacket that they have in this world.
So it's not something that gives him away. It's not like a uniform or anything.
Right. No.
Cool. All right. Obviously he said something he didn't want to say. Is that why he's got his hands in his hand?
Yeah. He's they're turning up the heat on him, definitely.
This is kind of cool. It's like is that sucking things in?
That's shooting out rainbow energy from his hat. So that's O'Hara. They just bust into a raid and he blows open the door with these rainbows and knocks this guy down. And then the next page, the two guys swing around. I think the next page is actually on the campaign where they go and raid. Yeah, here it is. They go in, Crockett and Tubbs style, swing into the room, and a little bit of action going on here. I wanted these pages done. These are like the last couple pages on the first chapter because these are like our action-packed stuff. So, if you guys are putting a campaign together, you want your interior art, but you also want some, interior art that has action on it. Nice splash pages, some good comic fun, so people know what they're getting into.
Yeah, I like his little shotgun. At first I thought it was sawed off, but I could tell that it has an aiming sight on there. That thing is got to have some kick.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Let's see here. This is actually pretty interesting looking. What's going on? This is they're breaking in, and
yeah. So this is
he's got a headlock here. He's about to pile drive somebody or something.
Yeah, he's doing like a DDT move that like Jake the Snake would do back in the 80s. So since he's the big guy, this wasn't in my script, like this move. Brandon's like, oh, we should give him like a wrestling move to do because this guy's going to tackle Magic Cop. So he intervenes, takes him down, gives it a little bit more motion to it and character because, maybe the background of O'Hara, maybe he's a big wrestling fan and he likes that kind of stuff. So he's being a little flashy here. So they're raiding a hideout for Madam Sith, who's the ringleader of the prostitutes. She's this Medusa character who's on the next page, and her hideout is in the sewers. So as you see, there's like these green pools, like hot tubs glowing. Yeah. And we were really able to set a different tone in this scene than the rest of the book because the hot tubs illuminate. So you get this low lighting, this lighting from the ground, this underglow that makes everything much more intense, spooky, ominous. And you get that cool splash page of her jumping out of the water about to attack these two guys.
Now, is the water magical or is it like, nuclear waste?
No, it's like sewer. It's like, I don't know, glowing sewer water. I don't think there's any explanation for it, but I thought it was cool. It was something we had on one of the levels of the games when you fight her. She was actually a character.
It kind of made me think of, you ever seen Modern Problems?
No.
Chevy Chase?
No.
No. There's a scene where he's riding behind this truck that dumps nuclear waste on him. And it gives him like these superpowers, but the nuclear waste is like this glowing green, and that's what I was making me think of.
That's cool.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. All right, so now tell us about this blockhead here.
Yeah, so when we reached our last stretch goal, which was at 4K, it upped the paper weight, so we got 80-pound paper, I believe now, to give it that professional feel, and not everyone's going to notice that, but they'll notice this. We're working with the Blockheads guys, and they were kind enough to make this awesome Iggy Magic Cop Blockhead. And so now that we're at this point, everyone is going to get a Blockhead printout that they could just fold up and make into this figure themselves. Even with the people that are getting digital copies, they will get the PDF of the printout so they can print it out themselves. It's exclusive for the campaign for now. So no one's going to be able to get it unless you do back. And if you do back, everyone's going to get it, even digital backers.
Sweet. That means I'm getting one.
Oh, yeah, man.
All right. Now, this is their car? Or?
Yeah, this is Magic Cop's car. It's the Unicorn. Brandon totally designed it himself. Even like when he was in high school, I remember he was drawing and designing cars that he wanted to make in the future. He's always loved cars, been super technical about it.
Reminds me of the Mach 5 a little bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, he loves cars, so he designed this guy really early on because you need to have a nice car. The Miami Vice guys had Ferraris and wanted to make something like that with those aspects, but in a totally different world, and you need your own version of a car. So this is the Unicorn.
Sweet. Yeah, so someday there has to be a toy, little Hot Wheels style toy of that car.
That would be awesome.
All right, now you said this is the Medusa chick from the sewers, right? With her back to the camera, back to the view.
No, so this is actually a crossover that we did with Scott, who's the writer of Door Kickers. Door
Okay.
Kickers is a totally different comic book that's on Indiegogo right now. I think it's in demand, but their story is really interesting. It's a military task force in our world that uses magic to fight magical criminals that are kind of supposed to be hush hush to the public,
Okay.
kind of like BPRD, um, but much more tactical. And we were on a stream with them a while ago. He has this awesome artist, Ted Lehman, who did this. And I'm like, our campaigns are kind of similar. They have that magic aspect to it. I had a panel, as we saw before, of the team kicking down a door. So I'm like, we should do this cool print where it's some of the guys from my team, some of the guys from your team coming in on this room and getting ready to fight this monster. And so he's like, yeah, man. Excuse me. He's like, yeah, I will, contact Ted, tell him what the layout of the print is going to be. And so I came up with this sexy succubus chick with tentacles coming out of her, and my colorist colored it up. And so if you back Door Kickers and you back Magic Cop at a physical tier, you're going to get this print for free.
Oh, I guess I'm getting one of those too because I backed both those books at a physical tier.
Awesome, man. Yeah, that's great. So we're sending one to you. I love the colors. Eugene, our same colorist, did this. I sent him a reference of the Door Kickers colors and was like, make those like theirs, and make Magic Cop side like ours, and he killed it on that. It's awesome.
Sweet. Well, that's pretty awesome. That's cool. So that's pretty neat. Now the Naughty Prince. Okay, let's talk about the Naughty Prince. People are going to want to know that, especially if they're coming to my channel.
Yeah, so we have our Naughty Print tier, which you can pick up, or if you want the book and the ash can, you could totally get that perk and then go on to the add-on section right at checkout. You could add any of the prints, one of them, two of them, all four of them for a reduced rate. And these ones will be uncensored. So you're going to get nips on this, on these covers. So everywhere you see a mermaid, they're going to be topless there. And yeah, just trying to bring something extra, a little spicier to all of our backers. I know everybody loves that. You definitely, your campaign, Captain Love, is definitely has that aspect to it, and
Yeah.
I think it works out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's part of like the whole Captain Love thing. I mean he's basically like the used and abused male. So it's the fuck boy. So that's that's one of his tragedies, but but it's not really a tragedy, and except that when you don't want to be alone, you're alone. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is pretty cool. So let's read this here. Ignatius Cromwell is a new magic cop straight out of the academy with his magic wand passed down through his family. On this first case, he has to learn work with his new Wolfman partner on the edge of retirement as they investigate the murder of a mermaid prostitute. With the aid of a big leprechaun and a flirty witch, the team will find out that the city of Ambrosia has its fair share of skeletons in the closet. Magic Cop was conceived originally as a side-scrolling beat-em-up conceived. I can't read. Sorry. Was conceived originally as a side-scrolling beat-em-up arcade game, but I'm reading that right? Okay, arcade. But the story quickly expanded into something that needed to be told as a comic. Brothers Phillip and Brandon Diaz and Zaid Comics bring you a fully drawn graphic novel with 80's colors by Eugenio
Petivu.
On top of the 4-chapter 88-page flashy crime fantasy. The 12-page pilot issue is available with the original character concepts and more in the behind-the-scenes nook, cover by Elliot Fernandez. Excellent. And then there's information here. I'm not going to read all this because I'm going to kill people. They're like, well, stop reading, man. Yeah. Let's see here. And what you get the digital comics, signed comic, 88-page, perfect bound. which is excellent. I'm glad that you're doing perfect bound.
Yeah, I love that. I
Height,
want it to be able to stand up.
yeah, it's important. If you're doing a graphic novel, it should be perfect bound. And then I like it better also because when I have them stacked away, it's easier to find it in the shelf.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's hard to find ones that are staple stitched unless you know where you put it. Yeah, you got to pull out 20 to get the one you want. Okay, and then signed supplemental book behind the scenes. That's the ash can you were talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's a 12-page pilot issue included in that. Let's see here, and then the 4 naughty cover prints, and then of course add-ons. Are there any other add-ons that are other than the naughty prints that you want to talk about?
Yeah, so we have some die cut stickers that Brand, customly drew up some sticker for each character. It's their headshot in the add-on section, and then you could get any of the covers as prints, censored or uncensored, depending on what you like. And also the Elliot Fernandez print is also an add-on. If you want an extra book, if you want an extra ash can, that's available. The add-on section is awesome. You can throw anything in there that you'd like. It's really helpful to the creators.
Have people been doing add-ons on? Have you found them doing a lot for you, or?
Yeah, I've gotten, Professor Geek. I'm not sure if you know who he is, but he's awesome. He picked up the book. He got the featured and the nudie prints as an add-on. We had one guy that got the signed book and then every print, and it was like $175. And I'm like, okay, that's awesome. Thanks, man. So people are definitely utilizing it. You just have to, since it's so new, you got to push it. You got to tweet it out. You got to tell them, because people can overlook it. Even though it's big, it's right there. People will overlook it, and you can tell them. You got to tell them you can mix and match too, because that's really important, because it just gives you more money.
Yeah, I was neglecting the chat, which I probably will do on my live streams for the next year or so. We want to say Sim is in there. Sim.
Yeah,
it is terrific to see you, man. I am so glad you came to hang out with us, brother.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, let's see here. Now let's take a look at your tiers, your perks.
Mm-hmm.
We have the signed comic and signed ash can. This is the featured one, right?
Yep. Definitely want to get both of those stories so you could have that full. It's just a bigger deep dive into the world that we're building.
Okay. And both come signed already.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you have the digital for 25.
Yep.
And that's just the digital. Okay.
Yep.
And then you'll get the blockhead with that, right? But a PDF form of it.
That is right. Yeah, because we can send that to everybody.
Right. And then the signed book, physical copy, and obviously that's signed. Okay. And then you got 2 signed comic books. Okay, so you can share one. That's awesome. And then you got the signed plus the naughty prints, and that seems to be one of the more popular tiers.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and then you got the comic plus the ash can plus 4 prints.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's pretty cool. So that you basically give them the now the 4 prints. Are those the naughty prints? Do they choose naughty print or whatever? Or?
Now I'm gonna message these guys and ask them to make sure if they want the naughty ones or not. It's up to them.
Okay. So it's no censor here, but it can go either way. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Now this is the 5 comics bundle. This is is this all the same? Do you have variant covers or just the one cover?
It's just the one cover. This is for retailers. It comes with a retailer poster also that we haven't showed yet. So if you guys own a shop, you get 5 books. You get this cool retailer poster to bring people in that shop.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's useful. Let's see here, and then the Elliot Fernandez cover, and this is just the alternate variant cover. No, this is $700. This has got to be the print, right? The original artwork. What is it?
Yeah, it's right here. I got it right here. So it comes with both the books, the 88-page and the ash can, and then it comes with this Elliot Fernandez penciled and inked traditional art right here for that cover.
So they're going to get books and the artwork.
Yep. Yeah. They could frame this baby up, And Elliot's an awesome artist. He'll be around for a long time, and his the amount of books that he's going to do is just going to grow, his catalog, and so he's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger. The guy is a true talent, and you guys will have this, to resell or to hang on forever, cherish. Look at that.
And he says we're bringing sexy back. Here, if I can, if I can figure out how to click this thing onto the.
You just got to click on the chat. The little plus sign will come up, I think.
Really?
If you go into StreamYards on your StreamYard window.
I have never done it, so I just never. I have no idea how to do that. It's not letting me. So sorry, Sim. I wanted to highlight your thing, but it won't let me do it. I'll have to figure that one out.
I'll show you later.
Yeah, I'm like clicking on it. I don't see a plus or anything. It just could be that.
That's weird. And you're on your the StreamYard window.
Yeah, I have it open, and I'm looking.
And it says live comments.
Yeah. Oh wait, you know what? Hold on. You're right. I'm not. I'm looking at
YouTube.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Good call on my idiocy. There we go. We're bringing sexy back.
Hell yeah.
Excellent. All right, and then let's see here. So the Elliot Fernandez cover, and now this one's gone. So obviously you've sold this.
Yeah. So let me tell you about this one. This one was super fun. Something we really want to do in the future. Making a tier that is based around the theme of the book. So this was our executive producer tier. It goes along with this theme of the television show, right? So when you buy this one, you are credited in the book superficially as an executive producer. It'll say in the opening credit crawl, because on the first 3 pages, each panel has a different credit for myself, my brother, the colorist. But it's very cleverly credited. So it says, I'm the screenwriter. It says Brannon is set and costume design, since he's the artist. The colorist is the lighting guy. And the people that bought this are going to be credited as an executive producer. There's 2 of them. You get the book and the ash can. And on top of that, you get a crew member's jacket, which is that jacket in that picture there that we're going to send you. It's got Magic Cop on the back. It has your name embroidered on the front. So that was really cool. It went quick, and I'm glad we were able to make that happen.
That's pretty cool. So, so you have a special place that makes those jackets, or?
We got the jacket, and the company we work for has a print house that can print posters and stuff, and we also have an embroidery machine there. We have screen printing there. So we're gonna be able to do that.
You have the access to do stuff like 4 off or 1, whatever their minimal is. So that's awesome.
Right.
That's cool. That's good stuff to access. I have I have access to stuff like that too, but I'm not ready to start pulling on those favors yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I want to do an embroidered patch for Captain Love as one of my tiers, but when we get there, I want to just give everybody one. Because we went over the book before, so you're familiar with what I'm talking about. There's the Solar Guard, the military force that's in his flashback, right? I actually have a whole design for academy wear and patches and military style garb that goes for the Solar Guard. So the Star Force as it's known. So I'm looking forward to I mean, obviously I couldn't fit it all into the first book, so I'll be doing a lot of that. So I think that's cool. I think that's really cool that you got this this. I mean, this really looks like 70s, pink and blue right out of Miami right there, man.
Yeah.
That's sweet. That's pretty sweet. So what else we got here? That's the last tier, right?
Yep, that's the last one, man.
Oh, sweet. All right. So tell people how they can find you. I put the links in the description, but in case they don't look.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So you could find me on YouTube. I have my own YouTube channel where I post about updates on the book. We posted a new one today on Magic Cop Monday, and we post about reviews, geek culture stuff, Comicsgate stuff. And I also do interviews, just like Drew's doing right now. Did one with him last week. And it's at Zaid Comics. So youtube.com/Zaid Comics. We have at Zaid Comics on Twitter. My handle is right below here next to my name. So that's my personal account. I always tweet about Magic Cop every day. And of course, check out the campaign page. We got 11 days left, trying to make it to 100 backers. If we can, then all of you guys get something super cool, some new art for you to take home when we send out these books. And if anyone watches this and backs tonight, they're going to get a free print of some art by Vic King. That is our Madam Sith character. Vic King did an awesome fan art piece. I always promote this whenever I'm on a stream, that if they're back during the day that we put this up, then they're going to get that for free. So definitely try to back tonight if you're planning on backing.
Yeah, and if you're not watching the live stream and you're still the same night as a live stream, that still goes, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. And all the links are in the description right now, with the Twitter and the page for Magic Cop. And everybody follow his YouTube channel. Everybody follow him on Twitter. Go to Magic Cop and get yourself a copy. It's going to be a fun book, and you're going to feel left out 3 or 4 books from now, and you don't have this one. Just saying.
True.
Yeah. All right, Phil. It is so nice to have you on the show, and I appreciate, man, and I'm proud to call you friend, man. So
yeah, definitely, man. Thank you so much.
So you keep hanging strong, and we're gonna say goodbye to everybody. Goodbye, everybody, and just tweet this out, share, like, subscribe, and we'll try and give you more good content as time rolls out. All right.
Hell yeah. See you guys.